Invisible Man starring Elizabeth Moss, Oliver Jackson Cohen, and Aldous Hodge is a modern take on the classic Universal Studios from 1933. Cecilia, played by Elizabeth Moss, leaves her abusive boyfriend late at night. He ends up committing suicide and gives her his fortune. But he isn't really dead. He stalks her using a special suit that makes him invisible. No one believes that Cecilia is being haunted by her scientist boyfriend until it's too late. The original Invisible Man starring Claude Rains is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. It's a classic when it comes to groundbreaking special effects, and it has a great story that's based on the H.G. Wells novel of the same name. The original has a runtime of 1 hour and 12 minutes. The new Invisible Man is 2 hours and 5 minutes. The movie studio Blumhouse is known for making horror movies, and it's always a hit or miss with them. Their film Fantasy Island was critically panned by just about everyone and made $35 million at the box office. This was a success for Blumhouse, since Fantasy Island only had a $7 million budget, which is the same budget for The Invisible Man. The original Invisible Man made almost $3 million at the box office and had a budget of $328,000. When you consider inflation, the original would have had an $18 million budget and made $110 million in 2020. There have been many Invisible Man-inspired movies over the years, including Hollow Man starring Kevin Bacon. Who could forget the bizarre sex scene with Elizabeth Shue in The Invisible Man? Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby was a cult classic, even if it wasn't the greatest movie. There was even a short-lived Invisible Man TV series from 2000 to 2002. The new Invisible Man is much different from the original. You could say that it's a social narrative on physical and emotional abuse of women. I'm so happy that they casted Elizabeth Moss for the lead. She isn't a drop-dead gorgeous actress that these types of movies usually cast, and that's refreshing. The 1933 classic did something similar by casting Gloria Stewart, who Elizabeth Moss looks very similar to. Gloria Stewart would play the old woman in Titanic. They say that when a man abuses a woman, that it's more about control and it doesn't matter what the woman looks like. It can happen to anyone. The first hour or so is slow moving, but it really picks up after the restaurant scene featuring Cecilia and her sister. This is a somewhat gory movie featuring a sliced throat, bloody gun wounds, and more. Unfortunately, some of the blood effects were obviously CGI. You could definitely tell when someone was shot. This is a fun movie with some twists and plenty of action, but it's far from perfect. Invisible Man would have been much more effective if they explained how the suit was made. It also didn't make sense that rain hitting the Invisible Man would make him visible while wind or dust had no effect. There are quite a few plot holes and a few things that had me scratching my head. Having a 3-minute scene featuring Griffin abusing Cecilia would make the audience hate the Invisible Man even more. It would make the movie have a bigger impact. They would be cheering for his demise. If you're a fan of the original Invisible Man, then you might walk away a little disappointed. In the original, you get a sense of who the Invisible Man is, and you start to have empathy for him. In the modern version, he's a monster of a human being, and you don't really get to know his backstory, which is unfortunate. I wanted to see him being a scientist for a second. With that being said, this is one of the better horror movies to come out this year, and most people are going to really enjoy it. It's fun, gory, and you get to see what happens when a woman is pushed too far. There are even a few scary moments that might make you jump out of your seat. I give The Invisible Man 3.5 stars out of 4.